It's the full story of life crushed into 4 minutes. The entirety of humanity in the palm of your hands, and it's crushed into one sentence. Listen, that's intense, right? It's God, our sins, paying everyone life. Greatest story ever told that's hardly ever told. God. Yes, God. The maker and giver of life. And by life, I mean any and all manner and substance. Seen and unseen, what can and can't be touched. Thoughts, image, emotions, love, atoms, and oceans. God. And all of it is handiwork, and one of which his masterpiece. And it was made so uniquely that angels look curiously. And the one thing in creation that was formed with his imagery, the concept, it's so cold. It's the reason I stay bold, how God breathed in a man and he became a living soul. And he was formed with an intent of being infinitely, intimately fond. Creator and creation held in eternal bond. And he was placed in perfect paradise till something went wrong and the species got deceived and started lusting for his job. An odd list of complaints as if the system ain't working. And used that same breath he graciously gave us to curse him. And that sin seed, it spread through our soul's genome. And by nature of your nature, your species, you participated in the mutiny. Our sin. It's nature inherited, and it blackened the human heart. It was over before it started, deceived from day one and led away by our own lust. It's not a religion in the world that doesn't agree that something's wrong with us. Question is, what is it? How do we fix it? Are we eternally separated from a God that may or may not have existed? But that's another subject. Let's keep grinding. Besides trying to prove God is like defending a lion, homie. It don't need your help. Just unlock the cage. Let's move on how our debt can be paid. See, short and sweet. The problem is sin. Yes, sin. Man, it's this cancer, this asthma. And it chokes out our life force, forcing separation from this perfect and holy God. And the only way to get back is to get back to perfection. But silly us, trying to pass the course of life without referring to a syllabus. This is us. We be heaping up good deeds. You can chant, you can pray, you can meditate. But all of that, of course, is spraying cologne on a corpse. Or you can choose to ignore it as if something don't stink, like stecking in dog poop and refusing to wipe your shoe. But all of that ends in how good is good enough. Take your silly list of good deeds, line them up against perfection. Good luck. Man, that's life past your pay grade. And the cost of your soul, you ain't got a big enough piggy bank. But you could give it a shot. I suggest you throw away the list because even your good acts are an extension of your selfishness. But here's where it gets interesting. I hope you're closely listening. Please don't get it twisted. It's what makes our faith unique. See, here's what God says is part A of the gospel. See, you can't fix yourself. Quit trying. It's impossible. Sin brings death. Give God his breath back. You owe him. Eternally separated. The only way to fix it is for someone to die in your place. But that someone got to be perfect or the payment ain't permanent. So if and when you find a perfect person, get him or her to willingly trade their perfection for your sin and death. And clearly, it's the only one that can meet God's criteria is God. God sends himself as Jesus to pay the cost for us. Listen, it's his righteousness and it's his death. And it functions as payment. Yes, payment. Writes a check with his life. But at the resurrection, we all cheered because that means the check cleared. Hey, pierced feet, pierced hands, blood-stained son of man, fullness, forgiveness, free passenger to the promised land. That same breath that God breathed into us, Christ gave up to redeem us. And anyone and everyone, and by everyone, I mean everyone that puts their faith and trust in him alone can stand in full confidence of God's forgiveness. And this is what the promise is. We are guaranteed full access to return to perfect unity by simply holding to Christ alone. We receive life. Yes, life. This is the gospel. It's God, our sins, paying everyone life. Hey, do you just want to say, hey, thanks for having me. My name's Jason. Really, you know, once you get kids and mortgages, you can stop calling yourself by nicknames. But yeah, my name's Jason, and I just appreciate your time and being able to share with you guys, man. It's an honor. I've been so moved by you guys' humility and desire to make the Lord famous. I think that's amazing, man. Thank you, guys.